we've bought a striker, and we bought a defender, and Mario Balotelli's got his old mate back from Man City. Hello everyone, it is TIJ, welcome to episode 1 of season 3 of Conquering the Euro, and today we start the season that will, fingers crossed, be the season that we win the Premier League. We start our campaign against West Brom. We've just been promoted from the Championship, and then we've got a quite nasty start that includes Tottenham and Man City in the third and fourth games of the season that we will show in tomorrow's episode. But obviously last year we finished 5th and we're trying to get Champions League football this year. And there's a few players that we need to sign to just strengthen the squad. Should we have a look at those straight away? Because I very much think that you guys are going to be excited about the few players we bought. Now, I've said that somebody's come in as Balotelli's mate from City. Well, remember when they won the league and Balotelli was the instrumental man. He got the assist. Who scored the goal for City? Yeah, Sergio Aguero. Sergio Aguero is now a Liverpool player. 36.5 million. We signed Sergio Aguero for. He's 32 years of age. As you can see in games so far, his 2 seasons in games so far have been very good. He got 13 goals in total last year for City and 15 the year before. So we're looking for that bit of striking stability, and I think that Aguero can provide that. Obviously, he didn't probably play as much as he would do for us for City last year, but he's a very experienced striker in the Premier League. He's one of the best in the world, I think, undoubtedly. And as you can see, he's fairly similar ability to the likes of Salah, and even Woodburn. Woodburn's really shot up over the summer in terms of his ability. But Firmino's probably still our best striker. Funnily enough, Balotelli is not in that list at all. That's very odd. We've also bought a centre-back, Emmanuel Mamana, from Zenit St. Petersburg. Now, if you remember last season, we had Joe Gomez, who was out for the rest of the season. About May, and he's out for the next 7 weeks to 3 months. So he's going to be missing the start of this season, and Mamana is a perfect replacement for him. He's played a few years for Zenit St. Petersburg. I know it's only the Russian Premier League, but very good stats so far for him, with average rating last year of nearly a 7.5. But his reports seem very good. He's a leading player of Premier League sides, 4-star ability. He's going to really line up with Virgil van Dijk. And for 20 million, I think that's a bit of a steal, to be honest. I think he was on the transfer list. I can't remember, was he on the transfer list or not? What I did, I went into Scouts, and I've just learnt how to do this. Basically, if you look at Scouting Focus, you can actually do a short-term focus. That came back with about 4 or 5 centre-backs, and Mamana seemed to be the best one and the best value for money. So that's all that we bought, and we haven't had a particularly expensive summer, even though I said we would. Because, to be honest, I looked at it and thought, no, we don't really need to bring anybody in. The squad looks very good, and I think that a few additions, just Aguero and Mamana, might be what we need to do the trick. Now, Daniel Sturridge has left the club. Because Sergio Aguero's come in, we thought, well, what's the point of bringing, having Sturridge at the club? He's been out of the team for a while. He didn't score any goals last year, and Watford have paid 40 million for him at the age of 40. He's left the club. Ajax paid us £1 million last year to send him out on loan for the last half of the season. As you can see, he had a very poor campaign last time out, even though his first season was very good. And Watford have signed him for 40 million, so we were more than happy. Like I said, yep, bring it on. And actually, I think Palace put a bid in for 50 million, but we accepted the Watford one in the end. I don't think that the contract added by Crystal Palace was good enough. But I can't even pronounce his name. Awoni, is it? Awoni, I'm not quite sure. Awoni, I don't know. Anyway, he's left the club for 4.7 million. Never really got his chance here. He's 22 years old. I don't really think he'd be too brilliant for us anyway. That's a good 4.7 million. Then a few players are left on frees, but the likes of Harry Wilson, even Oxlade Chamberlain. Oxlade Chamberlain's gone out on loan to Ajax because he just doesn't fit into the squad this year. The likes of Solanke have also gone out on loan, as well as a few of the youngsters. And we've released a few players, but no one of real... there's no one too brilliant there, so there's nothing too outstanding there. So if we look at the squad, if we look at the tactics for today's game against West Brom, we've changed our tactic to a 4-2-2-2, which I think could possibly be the one that wings us the league this season. Just look at that attack. Salah, Gnabry, Firmino, Balotelli and Aguero. Aguero's on the bench because he's failed his fitness. Well, he hasn't failed his fitness test, beg your pardon. But he's going to be a bit tired. So I thought I might as well play Balotelli. It's not going to hurt. But I thought it gives us a bit more in the way of attacking threat with that 4-2-4 wide. The defence looks very solid with Mamana, the new signing, and Van Dijk in the middle. And then Becker is obviously still in goal with Fabinho and Keita, the 2 midfielders. Now, we've had a bit of a mistake here. Grujic cannot be registered for the Premier League because we can't meet our registration requirements. So Grujic is had to be the real unfortunate player who's missed out. Now, there's a little bit of a rule that says there's a minimum of 8 players that must be tried in England for 3 years before their 21st birthday. Now, Sturridge and I think Oxlade Chamberlain met that requirement, but because they've both left, whether it be permanent or temporary, that's obviously 2 players out that don't meet those requirements. And obviously we can't put Grujic in because then that leads to 25 players being the squad, and there's only 7 players tried before the 21st birthday. It's a little bit of a stupid rule, but we can't really do much about it. But luckily the likes of Trincao and Woodburn get away with it because they are still under the age of 21. But Woodburn is somebody I'd quite like to use quite a bit this season. I'm very much looking forward to see how he gets on. Where did he go on loan? He went to Benfica and scored 1 goal. Well, he had 1 appearance, so he hasn't really had much match experience. But if you look at his coach summary, he looks like a very good player at the age of 20 already. And he's a striker, left winger, centre attacking midfielder as well. He's very natural in many positions, making him quite versatile. And I think we'll be using him probably on the bench today and might come on a little bit later on. So I don't think there's anything else to talk about really over the summer. The clubs that have come up are West Brom. It's going to be a tricky one now. West Brom, Villa were up last year. I think West Brom, let's just have a look at the championship finished last year, shall we? That'll be much easier to do. Burnley, West Brom and Huddersfield. So it must be, I think it's 2 that went down last year. And obviously West Brom went down 2 years ago and at the start of this game. But obviously we only finished 5th last year, so I think we're going to have to get off to a good start. It's going to be a tricky start because we've got West Brom and Burnley, which should be winnable games, but we need to then beat Tottenham and City, which is going to be quite a stumbling block, I feel, at the start of the season. But to be fair, after that, we haven't got much of a problem until we play against Everton and then Arsenal, but then we've got quite a nasty month in November. But just scrolling through, apart from the end of the season, it doesn't look too bad, but March looks a very scarce month in terms of games. Only 2 games in March, but I'll stop rambling now. Shall we get into the West Bromwich Albion game? So the tactics we've already seen, so let's get straight into it, shall we? Now, we've got Aguero on the bench who might make an appearance later on, but to be honest, do I see the point? No, not really. I don't see the point for this game against West Brom, especially if we're winning by quite an amount. And funnily enough, Karius is back at the club this year. He's back at the club because he's finished his loan at Besiktas, and for some reason he doesn't join the club for another year, which I don't quite understand. But nonetheless, he's back here, but he's not registered. So he's just going to linger down in the under-23s. Now, that's not a bad squad, you know, for West Brom. They've got the likes of Juan Cuadrado, which is particularly good. And they've got a few players that you go, these are decent players. But we are favourites, you know, we are Liverpool. And despite our poor season last time out, we should really be beating a team like West Brom. Newly promoted, and I suppose they've still got the fire in their bellies, if you like. They're still, you know, really motivated. And they could go and beat us today, which wouldn't be the best start to our Premier League season. But hopefully, we come out of the blocks nicely. And that was very nearly a goal for Virgil van Dijk, actually. He's first of the season. I wouldn't have expected him to be the first player to score a goal this season. If you give me a betting slip, I would not say that Virgil van Dijk would get the first goal in this game. But he didn't, so luckily I didn't make that bet. But with 15 minutes in here, we haven't had a goal yet, but it's quite positive to see that we've had the most shots. And even though we haven't got the most possession, we are dominating play in terms of our shots. Right, 25 minutes in, still nothing happening. I'm a little bit disappointed in that. I'd like to get an early goal just to set out our intentions for this season. But it might end 0-0. We were draw specialists last year. Hopefully we don't have the same thing again. But a lovely ball from Alexander-Arnold. But it doesn't really lead to anything. We've had quite a few opportunities, it seems, this half. But they've all fell a bit flat. So hopefully this isn't West Brom's opportunity. Because inevitably, in every game, each team gets at least one chance. And that's the way I go about it. So hopefully this is our chance now. Good ball from Balotelli to Gnabry on the wing. Through to Salah. Shoots. It's just wide for Salah. I just feel we are getting close to that goal, but we're wasting a lot of opportunities. It's good to see that we're doing well in terms of the shots. We've had 11 shots so far, and that's 12 now. But still, we're not doing too well. But this could be West Brom's chance to go ahead. Carvalho to Jay Rodriguez. Jay Rodriguez, can we get the ball off him? No, we can't. Carvalho's back on the ball. Carvalho's going to put it in. This is going to be a goal. Good stuff from Fabinho, but we still haven't cleared the ball. Come on, Romeo. Get it out. Carvalho, Romeo into good stuff from Mamana. Good showing of why we spent 20 million on his player. Lovely stuff from Balotelli to Firmino. Gnabry into Salah, and that's 1-0. Our first goal of the season. The two wingers combined. I knew it was going to come at some point, but I didn't want to be too hasty. Yeah, we're definitely going to get a goal because that would be a bit stupid of me. But a good goal from Salah. Very good build-up play from Mamana and Balotelli. Good ball from Firmino and good vision from Firmino and Gnabry to get it into Mo Salah. And that's a nice first touch finish. That's 1-0, and hopefully it's a clean sheet for us today. It'd be nice to start with a clean slate, a few goals, maybe 2-3-0. That'd be a brilliant way to start, just to show our intentions of going to win this title. Because if we go into that Tottenham and Man City game not doing too well, I'd feel, you know, this isn't going to be very good because we were outclassed by those sort of teams last season, particularly between at the end of the season. But I feel like this season we've made a few additions. Again, Mamana and Aguero coming in. Obviously, the transfer window is shut now, so suggest any players you want in the comments, but it's not really going to make too much difference at this point until January. But the trouble is, we're already over on our player limit in terms of 25. So unless we got rid of more players, which to be honest is something I can't really see us doing. Couldn't see who we could get rid of particularly. But is there really much point spending money? I don't really know. You know, we've spent the 40, 50 million. We spent 36 on Aguero and 20 on Mamana. So we spent 56, but because of players out, we've only spent a net spend of about 12 million. So we've done quite well to get those two players for 12 million, but that is very nearly the second goal. Whilst I've been nattering about that, I can't speak today. I think you'll probably notice by this point. But whilst I've been nattering on about that, we've had two very near chances, and I think now might be the time to bring Aguero on. We'll bring Woodburn on, as well. See how Woodburn gets on in the attacking position, because to be quite honest, he hasn't been very good as Firmino, and nor has really, what's his face? Balotelli today, so I'm a little bit disappointed in that, but we're going to bring, who are we going to bring on? We're going to also bring on Shaqiri for Salah, because he looks a bit tired, so I just want to bear that one in mind. Put him back to an inside forward on support. I'm bearing in mind this year that I want to go back to a system where we have one attacking midfielder and one that's on support. That doesn't make too much sense, but one that's on attacking mentality and one that's not. But we're going to demand more from our players. It's very easy for the other team to get back into this game, but quite a lacklustre game it seems to start us off, which is a bit of a shame. But it's 3 points that we've picked up. Oh, don't speak too soon, Mr. Jones. Right, Ikone on the ball for West Brom. In the box, shoots. Good stop from Alisson Becker. But really, we should be 2 or 3 ahead by now. They've had 23 shots, 12 of them on target. I mean, it must mean that, fair enough, that they've been very good in the defensive department. But still, it's not really good enough. It'd be nice to see a debut goal for Aguero or for Woodburn. It'd be really nice to see either of those players score. But it might just end 1-0. It might end 1-1. We still don't quite know yet. Come on, Fabinho. Good interception for Fabinho. Good ball up to Aguero. Aguero, lovely ball to Gnabry if you can get that, but can't quite get it. But luckily, Robertson gets it back to Gnabry. Quite poor stuff there from Gnabry in the end. He loses the ball. But Banana, I think I've just said banana rather than Mamana. That's going to be a real tongue twister of this season. But a good ball from Alexander-Arnold to Sergio Aguero on the edge of the box. Shoots, and Aguero gets his first Liverpool goal. He's made it 2-0. And that is what I like to see. It's very much, I think Aguero is a very much, not a key player, but he's a star player who just shows his ability and his class compared to others. Because I think that personally, from here, the likes of Firmino or Balotelli might have scored it, but a lovely composed finish past the goalkeeper. And that's made it 2-0. And that should close out the game. And that's the sort of player we need. We need a sort of player that's going to close out the game, stop us worrying, and it certainly has now, because we're going to end it 2-0 with a clean sheet. And to be fair, there isn't really much that game could have gone in terms of how better it could have gone. So it's going to be a short episode today. I didn't really want it to 2 games because these episodes seem to be a little bit longer in terms of the first episode of a season. But if you enjoyed it, make sure to leave a like down below, comment any suggestions of players and what you think of the new signings, and also subscribe for daily Football Manager content with Conquering the Euro. But if you have enjoyed that, folks, make sure to leave a like, and I will see you guys until the next time. I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.